Nuremberg is a small city in southern Germany with a deep history. World War II destroyed a large portion of the city, but they have since rebuilt a lot of it. So you can see how the city has progressed through the centuries, which I think is really cool. Here is our view from the hotel room. We wanted to stay in the downtown area so that it'd be easy to get around and see all the sights we wanted to see. Around the corner, you can see some of the old city walls and the entrance into the old town. So it's really close by and super convenient. Zoos are not normally my type of attraction, but we had the time and nice weather, so why not find out why this one came up in my research so often? Well, it was easy to get out to this one, just one direct bus from the downtown. I didn't think it was overly special. I thought it was a nice zoo, but it's still a zoo. So if you have kids or you're wanting to do something outdoors, I think this is a good activity. So we started our museum day at the Toy Museum, where we purchased the day pass for €9 per person, and that gets us into all of the Nuremberg city museums. There's just so much to look at in here. So many unique toys from all sorts of different eras. The Nuremberg trials were held here to prosecute war crimes committed throughout World War II. We're in the Nuremberg Trials Museum, where the museum is hosted in the old viewing gallery of the courtroom. Unfortunately, the courtroom itself is closed currently because of remodel, as you can see, but there's a window down into it. This is still a functioning courtroom, but it looked like before a layout, and this is the viewing area. This is now the museum. This is the layout of the whole museum. You have panels with pictures and text, most of which is German. You can see right up at the top, the title is in English, but everything else is in German. So they give you an audio guide to follow along with. I've been looking for mention of her this whole time. It's Herta Oberhauser. She was a doctor. I read about her in the Lilac Girls book. She's one of only 2 women I found tried here. And the reason they're mentioned last is because they were after the main trials. So Herta and Inga here are the only 2 women I found.
Starting in December 1946, the first of the Nuremberg follow-up trials indicted 20 medical doctors. The prosecutor, Telford Taylor, accused the defendants of conducting experiments with human beings, murdering sick and disabled people, as well as planning the mass sterilization of Jewish forced laborers.
We are walking from the Trial Museum over to the Old Town. It's about 40 minutes, but it's a nice day for a walk. Look at this cute garden we wandered into. I'm so glad we walked instead of taking the underground where you don't get to see anything. The Albrecht Dürer House Museum is a museum of his works, but also a museum of the house he lived in while he was there. This was the last museum included on our €9 day pass. He was an incredibly talented artist, in my personal opinion. But what is rare is that he had painted 3 different self-portraits, which for the time was completely unheard of. All the different ways to make colored paint. Another park that we just stumbled upon, this one's right outside the old city walls. So there's the city wall, and then over this way is the moat. How cool is this? We found a viewpoint in the old city walls. We are now walking around Kaisberg Castle, which has its roots down to the early 11th century, so early 1000s. Despite its early history, much of what you see here is not original. We made it to the northern part of the Old Town, which is at a higher elevation, so you end up with views across the city. This is also the entrance to Kaisberg Castle, which we plan on visiting next. The entrance fee is just €7 for the combined ticket. Let's see what we find. This is the upper chapel. And they've put a hole in so you can see down into the upper chapel. We moved into the next exhibit, and this is more about the history of the castle and its mates. There are a lot of different examples of weapons used throughout history. More weapons, and some armor and protective gear. This This is part of our ticket combo. We are going up to the view tower. The view up here is super cool. And you can see the whole old and new city. And then down, down, down we go. So we're in this old city with roots back on the castle to the 11th century, and they're building a mountain biking course through the middle of it. The Red Bull District Ride happening 2020, the day after we leave. There's some test runs going on. Train ride back home from Nuremberg, and a few final thoughts. It was a really walk-friendly city. I loved that. We did end up taking public transit out to the zoo, but you didn't have to. You really could have walked that if you're somebody who likes walking. I liked how it had a variety of history. We did the toy museum, we did the art museum at the Dürer House, and we also did the Nuremberg Trial museum. So we did a bunch of different museums. All of those can be done the same day on the €9 pass. So you get a pass to any of the museums for $6, or for $3 more you can do all of them. So I thought that was a really great deal. It was really cute downtown. It had shopping and it had entertainment. I think it was a really great visit. I would recommend stopping by if you get the chance.